So if you guys saw my last video, you're gonna know the police were making us put this Jeep back to stock.
Your glass, you should get that fixed anyway. Fenders, or you put your flares on.
Yeah.
Your bumpers do have to go all the way across. We take your car.
Oh, okay. Or else we're gonna get in some trouble with it. So that's what we're doing today, is we're unfortunately putting my Wrangler back to stock. That means taking the 40s off, changing the front bumper up a little bit, full width factory fenders, all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. So I've been sitting here all day trying to figure out how we're going to get this thing past an inspection. Actually, it turned out to be a little easier than we thought. So my initial thoughts were stocks weren't going to clear the brakes or the 2.5 ton aluminum steering. However, I was wrong. As you guys can see, this is hideous how it is. Look at it with a 40 on one side and fenders and 32s on the other side. Clearly it looks better on this side. Go ahead and comment down below which side you think looks best. I'm going with the 40s every day, but I still have my factory fenders and they fit, and somehow the factory wheels and tires still fit and they clear everything. Sorta, it's good enough to get us to where we need to go and get it inspected, but we've got everything squared away here and we got it covered up. Tires don't stick out at all. They're actually in quite a bit, which is hideous in my opinion. I can't imagine what this thing looked like on stock everything, because that had to be hideous. But I have all the fenders. We're gonna go ahead, put the rears on, put the other front on, swap out all the tires with the Rubicon wheels, which if you guys saw, we did get these for the Grand Cherokee, but unfortunately we're gonna have to rob the Grand Cherokee of its wheels and tires to get this thing past inspection. I'm not even sure how it's gonna drive on these. It's a pretty small tire. I know these have trouble getting death wobble just because there's so much grip, because they have such a big footprint on the ground. Now, the other thing on the repair order is the bumpers are not wide enough. They have to go to the edge of the car, apparently. And, well, that one's kind of a gray area, I guess, because he originally told me factory width and then told me it doesn't have to cover the tires.
Bumpers do have to go all the way across.
Like full width? Yeah,
within very close. However they were manufactured, it wouldn't cover this. It wouldn't be your tire. It's the width of your vehicle.
Idea where we're at. We're gonna make some extensions over to here and call it a day. So we're gonna cut out basically a piece of metal and put it all together so it looks like this, extended basically, and bolts into these two mounts here, or possibly underneath the winch, because these bolts are a lot easier to get in and out because these go through the frame. So we might go ahead and just build an extension off there. That would probably be the easiest thing to do, and extend the bumper as far out as possible. That way we don't have to worry about this anymore. Cracked windshield, obviously there's really no way around it. We just need a new windshield. So we'll get that taken care of. So Teraflex guys, if you're watching this, I'm gonna need a new decal to rep the company, because we're gonna have to replace this one. So basically that's how we plan on doing this. So let's go ahead and swap over all the rest of the tires. Absolutely terrible. This is just disgusting compared to how it looked before. I had to get some more hardware to bolt up both fenders, but as you can see, besides the bumper and windshield, we're legal again. Tires don't stick out. We might have some trouble with the little bit of clearance we have under there. Might hit some speed bumps or something, but we're pretty much good, I guess. As far as the tires and fenders go, we have to finish bolting these up. I just have the front off right now compared to the back. The front looks absolutely awful. It looks stock now. It's got a bunch of cool parts, but it's not going to do anything off-road with these tires and these wheels. I have literally no ground clearance if we want to go off-road. Maybe we'll take it off-road like this. What do you guys think? Should we take it off-road with the stock tires and wheels? Just see what it can do. Go ahead and comment down below what you guys think. So all the 40s are off. At least while they're off, I'll be able to clean them up real nice. But here's what we're left with. Still have to get hardware for the front fender, hardware for the back fender to be able to put this back on. But fortunately, we still have all the factory holes left up here, so we'll be able to put this back on. And the back doesn't stick out too bad, the front doesn't stick out too bad. Once the fenders are on the back and the front, all that'll be left is to extend the bumper out just a little bit to like here, I guess we'll do. Probably do it to like the edge of the fender, I guess. Replace the windshield, fix the exhaust leak, which I have to fix anyway to get the Jeep through emissions, because I'm not trying to lose my registration because we didn't do emissions. And it's such a simple little leak. I'll show you real quick. In that connection right there, it's just leaking in the back because it didn't see all the way in. Also, while we're down here, look how little ground clearance I have now. I don't even think we could take this thing off-roading if we wanted to. I think this is worse than factory, to be honest, because we have the Dana 60 in the rear. So I'm pretty sure it's a bigger center diff. So I don't think we'd be able to take this off-roading if we want to. However, if you guys want to see this thing taken off-road, comment down below. We'll take it off-roading how it sits right now. Factory fenders, factory wheels and tires, and just see what it can do. I think we're going to get stuck quite a bit, but that is why we have this worn winch, is to pull us out. We haven't had to use that on ourselves yet, thankfully, but this might be the change, and we might actually have to use this on ourselves. So I'm going to wrap up getting the rear fenders on and see what hardware I have to go buy. Same for the front, then we'll go pick that up, and we should be pretty good to go for today. And the back fenders are on, and they actually went on without any new hardware. Still had a bunch of the clips left on it, they didn't break off, so that's on there pretty good. Now I just need to get some more little bolts and nuts to go through this to hold that up tight. I thought I was going to have to switch out the hinges on the hood, but I think they clear all right. It's going to be like a tight fit, and I think they're going to like touch, but I'm not too concerned about that. Now that this is all taken care of, we're going to worry about the exhaust leak. We'll take care of that next. That shouldn't be too bad. If those pipes don't slide closer together, I'll just get like a clamp that'll cover where it's leaking out of. After that, we'll go ahead and address what's wrong with the engine to cause it to send extra fuel through, since the fuel is burning in the cats, causing them to overheat, and that's just not ideal. It's not going to pass emissions like that. But as far as the inspection stuff goes, now that we have the stock tires and fenders on, I have to go ahead and make this come out a little farther. What I'm thinking about is either using the factory bumper corners and bolting them on with this, or just kind of making like a little triangle that comes out like that, also bolting in with these two bolts here. Either way, we only really have to go another 3 inches over and we should be good there. And that takes care of the bumper, the exhaust leak, tires, and fenders. Then we just need a new windshield. Obviously, I'm gonna have to pay somebody to put a windshield in this thing. I have no idea how to do that. It shouldn't be too expensive, I don't think. So we'll just get a new windshield, order up some new decals, and we should be good to go. It'd be kind of nice to have a new windshield with no cracks, because I've had this for quite some time now. But the Jeep looks awful on this setup compared to how it looked before. That basically wraps up this video though. I'm going to do all the bumper stuff off camera just because it's going to be kind of boring and not really worth watching. Basically just going to make a little triangle to go on the end of my bumper. Exhaust leak's just a matter of putting 2 pipes together, so that's also pretty boring. And the windshield I'm not even doing, so I can't really show you guys that anyway. But as you guys know, we had to put this thing back to stock because those things got us in some trouble. So we're going to go ahead and run this setup for a little bit until we can get past inspection. Then we'll figure out what to do from there. But I'm not liking how the Jeep looks in this setup compared to the 40s. So hard because like we've seen this thing on the 40s, really wide axles, and just how good it looked. Now it's stock looking, and it's honestly worse than stock. We have cool axles and everything, but they've robbed us of clearance, so this is actually worse than running a factory setup. The factory setup will at least get you some ground clearance. In the back there, we are getting absolutely no clearance. We probably have 4 or 5 inches underneath the diff. I never measured my factory setup, but I'm sure it was a little bit more than that. So my Jeep is now less capable than a factory Jeep.